Hello, friends. Do you remember when we were small and we started the cycling? Initially, it was with little bit of support, and as we could learn this cycle, the slowly the support was withdrawn. This was done by our parents. They were teacher to us. This is exactly what scaffolding is in education. Here also, we as teacher facilitators, we provide them support to the students. But as the student learns the concept, we are confident that students has learned. Student is confident that they have understood. Slowly, this support is being withdrawn. So let's understand further how this tool can be very effectively utilized in the education process. I'm Veena Raya Singh with you and helping you and guiding you to the webinar that is all about scaffolding in education. That is the hack every educator needs. So let's go ahead. It is basically a strategy that provides a temporary support to the students to help achieve learning goals which the child cannot reach independently. What is the purpose behind and from where this concept has come up? Hello, friends. I'm Veena Raya Singh, your host today to guide towards the teaching tool that is scaffolding, the hack which every educator requires. This will help students to reach their goals very smoothly and effectively. So, as we see, scaffolding is a strategy, is a teaching strategy which is provided to the student initially, but as the child learns, as the student becomes proficient, this support is being withdrawn and child is allowed to learn independently. What is the purpose behind? Let's understand. It was by Lev Vygotsky, this who has actually given us the zone of proximal development. He says there are areas which the child learns on his or her own. There, no support is required. There are certain areas which are out of reach for the child, but there are certain areas where the child can grow, can learn, and become proficient with the support of their teachers. Teacher here can be anybody. It's the parents sometimes it is friends. So let's see what are the key elements to this. How do we get to do the scaffolding as a tool? We have to break the task into smaller steps. We need to provide guidance, like certain examples can be quoted, and slowly, as the competence of the child increases, the support can be removed or it can fade out. So one model of scaffolding, which is shown here, you can just check this in detail. It says that initially the education for the child is in the form of lecture and it is teacher centered. And it is basically teacher assisted. But slowly and steadily, the teacher shifts the, can say, the knowledge acquiring to the peer, and then finally to the student. So it can be actually done in many ways. The teachers, the educators can practice this in many ways. It is first initial case that the teacher is assisting in acquiring the knowledge. But now, as we have started talking about peer tutoring, where a child is teaching another child, so that also can be taken as a support. Then finally, it becomes student centered, where the child is now learning independently. So there can be different scaffolding techniques which we will discuss here. First one is about modeling. That is, we demonstrate the task before asking the student to do it himself or herself. Like, just see the pyramid which is upside down. You can check here how initially the child has been given a kind of support. Then later on, the adult is modeling, doing the task himself or herself if the educator is there, giving clues, giving prompts, and then leaving the child to work independently. Second is about think aloud, that we allow children or students to share their thought process. We give them situations that, okay, if you are in so and so situation, what will you do? We allow them, giving some headers, giving them some pointers to make stories. So here their thinking process begins. They start because the pointers have been given, they are a kind of support to them. What they think, and they will share with their peers, with the educators, and here they gain kind of a better confidence. Third tool for scaffolding can be in the form of questioning. The teacher, the educator asks certain leading questions and guide them to finally to the concepts. Like, fourth tool for the scaffolding is checklist and prompts. Here the educator gives access to the student for a kind of reading, a text reading, then allows the child with minimum clarification, where the child is going to do the understanding himself or herself and guides the reader to follow up support, and then encourages the student for rereading. This rereading of the text by the student is going to actually strengthen the understanding of the child about the concept. But remember that the scaffolding never means that the complexity of text will be reduced or the text is going to be replaced, or say for example we'll not ask them to learn. We say okay, skip the, because this is difficult, skip the concept. No, that is not to be done. Now coming to the fifth, that is the graphic organizers. Here, they, as you can see, and as the technology supports us a lot, we now have access to so many graphic tools, visual aids, like in the form of PowerPoint presentation, in the form of people whom they are meeting, in the form of pictures, which can be a newspaper picture, can be a magazine picture, can be picture on the TV, are talking about the mobile, talking about certain things which are found and are lying around them. So, we are going to talk about this in detail in part 2. Dear educators, please join back to understand what exactly the graphic organizers or the tools are and how we can use them to the optimum to make the concepts clearer and better understandable to the students. So, thank you. We'll meet again in 10 minutes. Do join back for the part 2 for further discussions. Thank you so much.